Now let's look at this issue. We have actually talked about something like this, still from Anambra State.
Yeah.
And it seems that this is now a fast way of making money for some persons in the state.
That is so true.
Oh yeah. Let's look at the government aspect. Is it that they are so relentless in doing what they are supposed to do, even though they have come up here to say that this is in line with Governor Soludo's administration's initiative to fish out all the quack and the fake clinics? Is it that we have so many operating without legal registration or so have you? What do you have to say about
You know, Nigeria as a country, we have operated both the traditional and then the Oyibo way of, you know, delivering babies over time. Now, moving over, you know, to the new century, the 20th century and all of that, we have had the infusion of having traditional deliveries, we call the midwifery, and infusing them with the doctors to create a form of leverage for women who are not able to afford the bigger hospitals to have that delivery. Now, because of this, the government has actually allowed those kind of people to operate at a low scale because they're not totally illegal. But you find out that because of the level of poverty in certain areas, you know, and then the fact that there's no adequate facilities to have young women, you know, cancel when they get pregnant, they're tricked into the fact that you can actually go to a facility where you have a qualified doctor and a midwife, which they refer to as nurses there, take care of you, and then you deliver your baby, and then you're given a healthy sum. Now, these women, you know, have this little, I want to call them young women, have found this as a way of surviving. Now, you have the Association of Medical Doctors, of course, and it means that all doctors originally should be registered as members of that association and that institute and should not operate, you know. But have we been able to flush out totally fake doctors? No. Some doctors don't even make it through medical school, but they have a little medical experience, and then they go ahead and build up a facility. And then these young women who do not know otherwise go there and say he's a doctor, you know, and then they go there, they put their lives in these people's hands. And the most interesting part is that they get to be paid at the end of the day. So in other words, you're luring them. I do not think that this is totally the fault of the government, because, you know, the police people will say, if you see something, say something. It's a neighborhood. These people do not operate in the air. They get their facilities from a landlord. Even if they're buying land, they get it from a community. So people understand that this is what they're doing. They know what is going around them. But because of the corruption, you know, in our society, these people have been allowed to thrive for this long.
But again, I remember there was a time here in River State where you are not allowed to put a signboard out without it being registered. Yes, we know that. We understand we have midwives and all of those. But don't you think, will it be completely out of place if they're registered to get to know what is going on there? Because at times when these women put to bed, you don't even know what they put in them. You don't know how they actually help them in delivery, and then before you know it, they will start having complication here and there. Will it be out of place to get at least doctors working with them, since it is not completely illegal, like you rightly stated? Because we have this signpost out there for years, and they have been operating for years.
Well, you know that sensitizing the public is something that should never be stopped. You know, the Nigerian I think NOA, Orientation Agency, for a period of time has really not been sensitizing people about so many devices that are coming up in the society. And, you know, a lot of our mothers went through the midwifery stage where you would go to a midwife and then they would even tell you that she has more experience than the doctors in the government hospitals.
Exactly.
And because of this, you find people flavoring them, and then they in turn turn the business around by hiring. Now I'll tell you the operation that I've, you know, talked about. I've spoken to some young ladies. eventually the people who run these things are mostly these midwife women, who the young girls come to because they do not want to get to the hospital, register, and then be cited, so they want to hide under certain disguise. And they would feel that if they went to like a government hospital, which is not so expensive, they would be found out by either their peers, their parents, or people who they do not want to know about their conditions. So they prefer to go to this midwife, and this midwife in turn hire a doctor, in quotes, and then this person is made to act like a go-between and give it a kind of legit package, therefore leading these girls into this. That's on one end. On the other end, because it has now become a thriving business, you have young girls who deliberately get pregnant and look for these people to sell their babies. And why is this happening? Because they need to make money. They need to earn a sort of living out of it. And while the government has the I want to say the responsibility of ensuring that every doctor has a sign, and of course is authenticated by the Nigerian Medical Association, also the community has a right and a responsibility to point out that we do not know that this man is running the proper facility, and therefore we need the authorities to come and check